Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. We got 3 patients in this compilation video. So you can see this first patient here, very soft wax on the outer part of the ear canal, not really causing too many issues as far as hearing's concerned, because we could see that big old gap just above that wax there. But patient was feeling they had something in their ear. Every time they had a bath or a shower, they were feeling a little bit blocked up for an hour or so after. So came in just to get us to check them over. And what you can see is hiding behind that initial soft plug was this darker, sort of slightly harder plug in there. But if we take a look, we can see the eardrum there looking lovely and healthy. So this is what we had when we first started. This is what it looks like afterwards. You can see a very different ear canal there. So same patient, other ear canal here. You can see a little bit fuller on this side. There is a very slight gap to the top left corner there, but same kind of issues in this one. Really soft wax here at the entrance. Let's get a good grip on this. This is the standard size Zollner tube we can see on here as well, guys. So you can see it's all getting sucked in at this very front section, this soft squishier type of wax. There is a little bit of sort of dead skin in there as well, that sort of keratin layer we can see on the outer part of the ear canal there. That's just loosened up a little bit because the patient's been using a lot of olive oil drops before they come along, and you can see actually peeling away from the canal wall there. But let's grab this piece. Oop, got a little bit stuck on the way out, so we're just going to grab that again. Nearly there. There we go. I had to work that one out through the entrance there. Didn't want to come out easily, but you can see that big old plug there again. Let's take a look behind it. And there we go, looking lovely and healthy there, the eardrum. I'm just going to tidy up this this sort of roof section of the ear canal here, just taking away some of these softer little bits of wax. This is the fine end here we're just tidying up with. You can see those little tiny bits of skin I was just telling you about then that were just coming away from the canal wall just because of the olive oil that was being used. Guys, don't forget, if you do enjoy these videos, you can always subscribe. You can follow the page as well if you're watching this on Facebook. Although I think we've been having a few issues with Facebook at the moment. For some reason, it will not let us upload videos to Facebook. No matter which way we try it, it just will not let us do it. So we're having to copy the ones from Instagram over there at the moment. But yeah, if you do enjoy these videos, you can always give us a heart. You can subscribe. You can follow the channel as well for me. That'd be brilliant. We're just getting this last little piece away there. There's the eardrum looking nice and healthy. So this is what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like afterwards. So you see very different here. So 2 centimeters worth of wax, or just over 3/4 of an inch there, that one, guys. You can see that long tail attached to that one piece of wax that came away there. But yeah, looking very good. Guys, apologies for the sound as well in the last 2 videos. I didn't realize that my mic had folded in, so it was actually sort of tucked against my chest so you couldn't hear anything. So I've stuck on the outside today just to make it a little bit easier for you guys to hear. Oh, this was a lovely, this was a really lovely kid. He came through, 8 years old this little boy was, and bless him, the first thing he said when he came into the room was, am I going to be on YouTube? So I promised him I'd put him onto YouTube. So you can see here we've got this really small ear canal because we're looking at a youngster, we're looking at an 8-year-old, but we can see he sat through this fantastically well, bless him. The reason he did is he's cleaned out. He's off to get some new molds done for some hearing aids, and for us to do that as audiologists, the ear canals need to be as clear as they possibly can. He's been waiting a little while, using lots and lots of drops, nothing really shifting. So came across the clinic to get this sorted out for us today. But he was so good, bless him. He sat through the whole thing, really nice and still, lovely for me. So we're just getting rid of this little bit. You can see, obviously, because it's a much narrower ear canal, those tiny little stereocilia, those tiny little hairs are on the outside part of the ear canal, that peach fuzz hair. There's quite a bit of it, and because it's quite a small ear canal, they're also folding into the middle of the canal there. So we're just struggling a little bit with this one. It had dried out a little bit. Now, what happens a lot with patients, especially when they've got smaller ear canals, is when we use olive oil drops, the drop will sort of sit and almost form a droplet on the outer part of the ear canal rather than going all the way in. So what you'll find is it'll really soften the very front section of the wax, but the deeper section like this one, you can see it's almost like a little quaver, a little sort of horseshoe shape of dry wax there. But that really just doesn't get down into that section. So what you'll find is you'll usually get a little bit of softer wax at the entrance, and then you get a much tougher, harder section further in, which is what we had here. So I'm just trying to get this out. Now, what I tend to do with the younger patients that come through, I do tend to chat to them quite a bit while we're doing it, just to settle them a little bit, and also just to make sure they're doing okay. So I think we were on a chat about wrestling at this point. But you can see it was just that little bit of movement there to the outer part of the ear canal, that's what I was trying to explain away, sorry, is basically when that little bit of movement comes through, it's where the patient's jaw is moving, so the ear canal is doing this quite a bit. So out that all comes, you can see it really coming away nicely there. Let's take a look beyond that. There we go. We can really see a very retracted eardrum there. So the actual eardrum itself is very sort of sucked into the space behind it. Patient had hearing aids because of glue ear, and this is a common symptom of glue ear where you get this sort of retracted eardrum. Sometimes the eardrum will look quite yellow as well. That's another feature. You'll actually see physical air bubbles behind the eardrum as well that have bubbled up through the fluid. That's another feature you can see with glue ear as well. The proper name for glue ear is otitis media with effusion. Basically, the fluid we produce in that space behind the eardrum, if it stays there for a little while, which it can do in children just because the eustachian tube isn't quite sitting in its normal angle. Obviously, the head isn't quite as fully grown as it should be, well, obviously because you're a child, but the tube itself doesn't have a lot of room, so it's usually very narrow, very flat, and that causes this fluid to back up in the system. It stays there a little while. That fluid goes from a very thin fluid to a very thick and sticky fluid. Remember we talked about that rear layer, the mucosal layer that's lining that middle ear space in the back of the eardrum, and that's what's producing this sort of fluid. We do it on purpose to keep it nice and clean, keep flushing fluid down to the gut, flushing the bacteria down the tube. 2.5 centimeters, just over 3/4 of an inch on that one, guys. Don't forget, guys, if you want earwax removal done, you can always have a quick look on our website, and our contact details are all linked into either the Facebook page or the Instagram page or the YouTube channel page as well. It's all on there for you guys to have a little look at. So you can see this last patient in the compilation. There was very, very dark wax here at the entrance to the canal. Very similar story to the first patient that came through. No kind of real issues as far as hearing's concerned, but just a little bit of a tidy up on this one. You can see it's very thick layer. Now this patient, I'd also been experiencing, getting any water in their ears. It takes ages for that to clear. They'd also been experiencing a few issues when they lay on their ears as well. So they could find that when they lay on their ears, when they lay on their sides, or not lay, well, you do lay on your ears when you lay on your side. But when you do that, what you're going to find then is the canal, that certainly the outer, more lateral portion of the ear canal, because it's got that more flexible nature to it, because it's surrounded by cartilage, will bend and flex into that space. So it squishes the wax together, and that can really stick to the canal walls. Very prominent anterior recess in this patient as well, in both ears actually. So you see a really solid sort of dark block of wax here. So this is the ear the patient was having, most difficulties with. So we're just getting rid of this now. There we go, just lifting off from the side. Really kind of peeling this away on this one. You can see it's coming away really, really nicely. Hopefully, guys, the lovely Mr. Taylor Green will be back with you on Friday. I think we're going to try and do a couple of videos because I think Taylor's got a bit of a backlog of videos he needs to get out. So I think you're probably going to see a little bit more of Taylor next week than you will of me, I'd imagine. Just obviously I've done a couple of weeks on the bounce. So Taylor's got a few videos to share with you guys. So we'll see probably Taylor for a couple of videos next week. But yeah, hopefully things will go back to normal then, because I don't think we've got another bank holiday now until May. I think King's Coronation, I think, is the next one. So we're just taking all these pieces away. You can see it really coming away nicely here. Just working this last piece. Doesn't want to come around the corner. And what we found with this one was a little bit more brittle. It didn't want to come away easily here. We can see it kind of tailing off there, that smooth underbelly of the wax there, tailing off into the ear canal entrance. Really trying to get a good old grip on this one. There we go. Out that comes. Let's take a look behind that now, see what's going on behind there. Oh, a tiny little bit of sticky wax at the entrance there, so just tightening that little bit away. You can see what I mean about that really prominent anterior recess as well. I think this particular patient, if they'd left it longer, the wax had backed up down into that recess space, and that would have been a really difficult one to get rid of, just because the sort of size of that anterior recess would have been a difficult one to get down behind. So I would say if we squish that together, just under 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters there, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching our video again today, guys. Don't forget, if you do enjoy the videos, you can always like, follow, heart, share, subscribe, all those things for me. That'd be fantastic. If you need earwax removal done, look on our pages, on our sort of header page and channel pages and stuff like that. You'll find all our details on there. You can contact us from there. Well, as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.